Hello. Oh, Lord. I was like, that was some echoing shit right there. Welcome back to Nadya's Identity Files. I have with me
Kitty.
the lovely, the fabulous.
Aw.
You gotta let me go on.
I'm sorry.
Don't you want to have your ego boosted right now? The lovely, the beautiful, the fabulous, the fashionable.
Lord.
The East Coast hailing.
Right.
Kitty Kaboom.
Hey.
Welcome. Thanks for being here with me
Thank you so
today.
much for having me.
Absolutely. We were just talking about our people watching fascination.
Yeah.
Like, we literally cannot help ourselves. Like, you guys see the people behind us,
Right.
but technically, I'm going to break it down. I'm sorry. No more smoke and mirrors for you guys. The reality is we are looking at Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The
I know.
secret is broken.
How does that work?
I know, it's magic. So we're here to talk about identity and your art and
Yes.
your work and your faith. So a lot of stuff to talk about, and we'll try to get as much covered as possible. But can you tell me a bit about the story behind Kitty Kaboom, which is, by the way, the most awesome name ever?
Thank you so much. So, really quickly, because I am a talker, as I've been told. So I was a badass kid. I was really rebellious, and authority was just like, ugh. And I had some stuff going on at home that I was rebelling against. Obviously, in retrospect, I know this, but at the time, I just thought that I was tapping into my bad girl persona. So I say all that to say that I went through I got kicked out of schools. I got jumped by a million girls.
In D.C.?
Yeah,
I got jumped
girl.
once in high school.
Did you?
Yes,
Where'd
I
you
did.
go to high school?
Well,
You
I
were
went
in
to high
Maryland.
school in Smithsburg, even worse than Hagerstown.
Where's Smithsburg?
It's gross. It's like a population of 2,000 people. Like, my
Right.
high school had 800 people in it.
No,
Yes.
my high school, and I went to school in Rockville.
Oh, good old Rockville.
Right, good old Rockville. Literally had 8 people
No.
total. But that's
What?
because I was a badass
Oh,
kid.
okay. You were-
So my
yeah.
mom found an alternative school for me that actually worked out really well. But long story short, when I went to junior high, I wanted to reinvent myself. I was just rebellious. I just wasn't in line with who I knew that I could be.
Yeah.
So when I got to junior high, when I left, no, let me get it right. When I went to, junior high. I'm in high school. The girl in junior high that was the most popular, all the girls want to be her, all the guys want to date her. Her name was Kitty. She had these cat eyes. She was so pretty, and she was always even keel. She was always nice to everyone. She wasn't into that.
So you
clique
took
stuff.
Kitty's
And I
identity?
took her identity because I just thought, how dope is that? I love the name, and I like the thought that people would like you for you, and that I was just trying so hard to be accepted.
Right.
And it just wasn't working out. So I was like, I'm just gonna become and I don't want to keep getting in trouble. How about that? Like, I don't want to keep running away. I was just wow, girl. So to say the least, Kitty came about. And then years later, everybody kept saying, you get with the union with SAG, and they go, well, what's your last name? And I'm like Cher, okay? Just that's it. Just Kitty.
Right.
So that was it for a long time. But then Kaboom came about. I saw it written somewhere, and I was like, oh my God,
Right.
I love it. So
I love it too. You didn't legally change it though, did you?
No. I would never do that to my mother.
Oh my gosh. Well, Nadya Rousseau is not my legal name either.
No?
Oh, y'all.
Right, all
coming
the
out.
stuff is coming
I
off
know.
today.
When I joined the union, I changed my name to Nadya Rousseau as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
From?
From Amy Clarissa Ballard is my legal name.
Well, there you go.
But I have thought of changing it because so much of my professional life is wrapped up in the identity and name of Nadya Rousseau.
And it's beautiful. It
So,
rolls
and
off
I
the
feel like
tongue.
it fits me well.
It does.
I mean, that's a conversation for another day. Names and identity, I mean, we could go
Right,
on and on and on and on. I mean, it's very interesting.
Yes. So that's how I came up with the name.
But that's cool. Kitty was my favorite band growing up, too, by the way.
Woohoo!
Kitty is like an all-girl metal band.
It is, and
I
I
love
did not
Kitty.
know that until I tried to Google myself, and I was like, who the hell?
Like, who is this?
Why do they have to spell it the same way?
You know where I saw Kitty like 4 times
where?
growing up? At the 930 Club
No.
and at Jack's.
They've been around that long?
Yes. Yes.
Shut up.
Yep.
930 Club is everything, by the
It's
way,
so
people
small.
in D.C.
I love the 930 Club.
930
Shout
Club
out to the
is
930
yeah,
Club.
shout out big time because they are the shit.
I
Everyone
don't think
loves them.
Jack's exists anymore, though.
Adele, no, Jax is no longer.
That's-
but Adele
yeah.
actually performed at the 930 Club when she was first starting.
What?
Doesn't
Wow.
everybody like kind of start there
They
somehow?
kinda- yes.
Yeah,
It
it's
seems
an
that
awesome
way.
club.
Well, super cool. Tell me about your hosting career and how that came about, or were you acting first? Did you host first? Like, how did you get started?
We talk about identity and faith and spirituality. It all kind of comes together with that. It's one of my very favorite stories. So I went to Clark Atlanta University initially. My mom was like, okay, you're playing with my money, come on home. So I went home, unfortunately, and I finished up. No, I got my degree at UDC, University District of Columbia. And I majored in broadcast journalism. So when I graduated, I'd interned at everywhere, like Washington Post, CNN.
Wow.
Yeah, like I made my rounds, right? And then I did the small ones too, though. So BET was one of those places. So when I graduated, I was having a really hard time getting a job doing what I love to do. And I was so disillusioned, like, what do you mean? I have a degree.
Right.
This is what I've studied for. Like, give me an opportunity.
Like,
and they're like, yeah, it doesn't work that way. I'm like, fuck you mean? Sorry. So I ended up back at BET one day, just kind of, as we say in DC, on a humble. And I ran into a girlfriend. She saw my little, because
they're not headquartered in DC.
They were. That's where we started.
Really?
That's
Wow.
where they started. Sorry.
Interesting.
Yeah, they started there, not too far from Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Brooklyn area,
Okay.
in Northeast. So anyway, I went in to see a friend, and really, I brought my resumes with me, and I was like, okay, this is it. This is literally do or die day. Like, either it's going to work out, or I'm going to go back to school and get a degree in, I don't freaking know, feng shui of fucking... I don't know, but it won't be this, because I'm beating my head and nobody's hearing me. So I literally walked in. The girl walks past me. She's like, your name tag says Kitty. Do you know Tracy Kinzer? I'm like, I do. We went to school together. She was like, oh my God, don't move. She comes back 5 minutes later. Tracy's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm literally just throwing myself at your mercy at this point.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Because I know you interned. She's like, yeah, I've been interning so long and so well that they literally gave me a producer job from like, she skipped all the steps because she was such a badass working so hard.
Right.
So she takes me with her. She's like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. She takes me in from one person to the next person. They're all producers. And finally we go to Stephen Hill, who is no longer there, but he used to be the VP of music stuff. So they had just started this new show. They gave her a choice of what show she wanted to produce, and it turns out she elected for the most interesting one, which was virtual reality. So this whole green screen thing is not new to me at all. It was my very big break. It was my very first opportunity, and I say divinity because it couldn't have happened any other way. I literally walked through the door, and I just believe that God placed me there. I mean, I was signing a contract within hours.
That's amazing.
Right? And
so you just felt it.
I didn't feel, I just knew that I knew that this is what I wanted to do, and if this was not God's plan for me, then I needed to figure out what it was.
What did faith mean to you before this day? I mean, obviously you grew up, I'm not going to say troubled child, but you had
I was a troubled child.
You had some issues, like you were struggling, probably with different things in the household. And Rockville is a special place in and of itself.
Well, yeah, and I mean that was just school, so that was like a hike just to get back and forth, and then I might have been like one of 2 black kids in the whole place, and that it shouldn't matter, but overall, unfortunately, a lot of times it does, because it was just such a small environment. Right. So you got a lot of that like side eye, who the hell are you type of thing. But my mom worked really, really, because I think her guilt of not being able to do what she wanted as a parent, you know what I mean? She was like, I know that I can be a better parent, but it just wasn't. She did the best she could do.
Did you grow up religious at all?
No, that's what I was going to say. Like, spirituality, religion wasn't really introduced. But when I think back on it, like, I dated this guy. My ex-boyfriend said one time when we were talking, he was like, you took yourself to church at 9 years old? Like, that's kind of big. And I was like, I never thought about it. But yeah, like, we lived around the corner. We lived in Adams Morgan, and then in Mount Pleasant. Yeah. So off of 16th Street, Brown Street, all of that area over there, Mount Pleasant, uptown, Northwest DC, shout out, whatever. So I took myself around the corner to Canaan Baptist Church at 9 years old, because I felt, I don't remember exactly what was going through my head, but I know my mother wasn't taking me. She wasn't even up. Like, I would leave the house. I got up, I got dressed, I did my hair, and I walked around the corner because I've always felt a greater connection to, I like being in spaces.
What inspired you to do that on the first time as a 9-year-old? Like, what was going through your head?
I I don't remember exactly, but I'm assuming, knowing me, that it was not a cry for help so much as just an opportunity to be around like-minded people. And as I said, my mother was struggling with her own demons, and so despite the fact that she was always an awesome human being, she just wasn't able to really like pull it together 1,000% for me. So I've always gravitated toward like big families and big arenas. Like when my boyfriend, if he has a big family, forget about it. I know the aunties. I'm best friends with your
every
mama.
cousin, every second, third, fourth.
Because I love that camaraderie. I love being able to be like my cousin. Oh yeah, girl, my auntie. I don't have that. We have a really small family.
I grew up a small family too. So I've always gravitated. So an admiration of people who have 5,000 sisters.
Don't you love it? And they're so irritated. They're like, I had to share hand-me-downs. And they complain about stuff that you're just like fascinated by. As an only child, I was fascinated. I have to play with myself. Like you wonder why I'm making Barbie hump Ken. What the fuck else am I gonna do?
I did too. I painted nipples on my Barbie.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. With nail polish. This is what only children, you guys, shout out, this is what only children do.
We have to create our own world. What are you going to do? Like, nobody's
Or Maryland only children, like Maryland, D.C. only children.
Yes, I love the fact that we're both from
Barbies
DC
and Kens,
too.
Fornicating.
Right? My mother bought me the whole, what was that, the townhouse? Remember the townhouse?
I made a house in my whole room. I had it, so my family room, I manufactured into a bunch of rooms. I had the teen skipper's room.
Shut up.
I had Ken break into her room. It's pretty bad. I mean, this is going to get too X-rated. I mean, we are in a strip club building.
Right. Let's just call it what it is. And my mom made me feel so badly about that later. I can't wait to tell her this. Funny. I think that's regular
Make her
kid
watch
shit.
The show.
At least I didn't hump anybody in real life at that point.
Exactly.
I waited till I was all of 13 years old. So
you got your big opportunity at BT.
Yeah,
I
hosted a show.
That feeling.
Right. So I went in. It was such a blessing. Within hours, I was signing a contract. It was for a brand new idea that still really hasn't been tapped into. The virtual reality character.
And when was this?
This was back in 2000. Her name is Sita. Sita's World.
Oh, wow.
Was kind of a big deal. She's kind of iconic, I've been told, in the hip hop world. We haven't done the show in forever, of course, but the fact that people still write articles. I still see stuff on IG. This one girl literally created an IG page in homage to Sita, and I just thought that was so sweet.
How long were you doing the show?
For only 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so they moved us from DC to New York, and then literally a year later from New York to LA. And then once we got here, 6 months later, they canceled the show, of course.
So what happened after
I had to scramble and figure out what the hell am I doing here. Mind you, in DC, there's, I didn't know anything about managers and agents and headshots. I didn't have to go through that, so I wasn't aware. So once I got out here, I was lucky enough to have a really good friend. He introduced me to a manager. They explained to me how that whole thing works, and I just was so blessed. I got an agent, the one that I'm with now. Shout out to Imperium 7, love them to death. And they, I was doing Disney before I knew it. I was doing Nickelodeon. I was on the Boondocks on Sony. I've made some amazing relationships and created rapport with people in the biz. So now I'm writing my own animated series. I'm feeling extremely empowered by that. So I get to cast my own people. Yeah, I'm writing it. I have a writing degree, and I enjoy it, and producing it myself. So yeah, it is hella fun because it's adult. So I can kind of push the envelope a bit. I don't have to, stay within the guidelines of this is not appropriate for children.
Right.
And it's badass. I love it.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
When can we expect to see that?
Girl, we are in pre-pro, okay? We're literally, we finished the pilot. We haven't pitched it yet. Let's just say that. So it hasn't been greenlit anywhere. We're looking to do new media, so a Hulu or an Amazon Prime, I think would be the best home for it.
I think Hulu would be really good, or
awesome.
maybe
so
not Crackle. No, Hulu or
Crackle's
Amazon.
not bad though.
It's not that bad, but a lot of that stuff is old on there.
It is, and I haven't seen anything with animation.
It reminds me of a streaming this.
It is kind of that way, isn't it? I like Crackle, but you're right. It's kind of dated a little bit. No, but I think that would be awesome. I would love to do Cartoon Network. I mean, everyone shoots for that, right? And the good news is I have friends over there, so who knows? It might come to fruition on a couple of different platforms.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Well, thank you so much, Kitty, for a snippet into your life.
For sure.
When we come back, we're going to bring back Moses into the mix, and we're going to be doing our digital round table, which is our first ever digital round table. Stay tuned.